Hey everybody, it's your old pal Wood Doofus here. I've been making a lot of these wavy wooden flags recently because they've been selling for me, and I've been using a grinder to get these dips in here. And up until now, I've been using these. So this is a shaping disc that I got on Amazon. It costs $8 or $9. I have links to all of these products in the description, so make sure you check those out to help me out. But it gives a very rough finish when I'm done using something like this. This is a new one and I'm going to give it a try. I follow it up with a 60 grit sandpaper disc after I do that, and I've had some success with that, but it does give a pretty rough look and it requires a lot of sanding. So I recently bought this $60 shaping disc, and the idea behind spending the money on this is that I hope it comes up with a better product that requires less sanding in the end. So I'm going to put these to the test and I'm going to show you my results to see if the $60 is worth it or if you should just stick with the $8 to $9 disc. All right, first up is this 4.5 inch $9 shaping disc. Okay, so I did end up buying another grinder. This one cost me like $70 or something, and this one was originally like $40 or $45, so it was well worth it based on what I'm selling them for, and just to avoid having to switch these discs out back and forth. So you probably saw me grind an entire flag out with this one right here, and of course this is the cheaper one, and it did a great job, as it always does, as far as moving material. Now, it still left some scratch marks on there, which is not bad, except on my union area, which I do not like because it makes it hard for me to get the stars on just right when I get to that point. You might have seen me start trying to grind a flag with this disc, and I stopped immediately because I was not getting anywhere. This disc does not remove material at a rate that's reasonable to make one of these things. So it turns out that this is more of a finishing disc than it is a material removing disc. So my overall assessment of these two discs as far as they go together is that I need both of them. Now this one was expensive, costing me $60, but I believe this is gonna last quite a while for the finishing part that I intend to use it for. These ones can wear out every so often, but you can buy another one for less than $10, so it's not a problem. The big thing about this is it removes the material as fast as I need it to, and it's cheap, so I can't go wrong with this one. So let me show you a side-by-side of just using this one versus using both of them. What I ended up doing was removing a lot of material with this one, and then coming back and finishing with this one to remove the bulk of the marks. So let me show you that real quick. All right, so this is a side-by-side of using just the cheap disc and sandpaper, and then using both discs. So you see the one with sandpaper still has the lines in it on all of these spaces. Over here we got none of that. It's pretty smooth. It's a little wavy when you touch it, but there's none of these scarred marks. So at this point, I've made a lot of these flags using both of the discs, and I think overall it is definitely the way to go to have two discs available when you're making these. Now I will say that I like some of those scratch marks in the grooves, and so what you can do is kind of pick and choose where you want to leave some scratch marks. My big thing is I want the union area to be perfectly smooth so that putting these stars on later on is not a problem and I don't have to redo them, which is a big pain in the butt. But if you want to leave some marks wherever you want to leave them where they're not problematic, like the star area, go ahead and leave them, and it leaves And it makes for a better look, I think, on the flag to have those distress marks. Make sure you check out the description, which will have links to both of these discs and maybe even these grinders in that description, and click on those things. It'll really help me out. Even if you don't buy anything, clicking them really does me a solid. I would suggest buying both of these, one for finishing with a finer grit and one that removes material with a heavier grit. If you're going to make a lot of these flags, you need the right tools and instruments to get it done, and this is what I've come up with so far, and I think this is working, as opposed to just having this and some sandpaper, because my sandpaper was getting overworked and it wasn't really effective either. So this one got it done. Go ahead and invest in one of these. This brand actually does have different grits available. What's it called? Yeah, the Kutzall shaping disc has different grits, but they're all at the $60 price range. And I would say the heavy grit, just get the cheap one, it gets it done. Besides that, as always, check out the description, click that like button, and don't be afraid to be a doofus.